We're here today to prep you for your deposition. I want to go over the deposition guidelines. I've prepared for you, as I do all my clients, a set of guidelines which I'll send home with you. But today is my opportunity to talk to you and for you to ask questions. Now, what is the purpose of a deposition? And what is a deposition? A deposition is where we sit with a court reporter, and the court reporter is taking down every word that you say. So that means you have to answer with a verbal notation versus a nod or uh-huh, because the court reporter can't take those type of things down. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the purpose of a deposition is usually about threefold. One is so that the other side can find out the facts of the case as you know them. Secondly, so that they can see what your specific story is going to be at trial so that they can begin to prepare their case. And thirdly, they want to see if you're telling a lie anywhere. Everything that you say can be used in court if there's reason to use it. Now, some of the things that are said cannot be used because they do not pass the evidentiary test that's required, but they still get to ask them at deposition. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. It's pretty invasive and it can be very emotionally draining. So I'm there with you the whole time. I'm sitting right there. If you feel uncomfortable about a question, you can ask to come see me outside of the room. So the whole time I'm there with you, which is very important for you, right?
Right.
Because otherwise it would be a little nerve-wracking. So one of the things that happens in a deposition is that I want you to understand the question that the other side is asking before you answer it, which means don't start talking over them, don't assume you know what they're saying. And if you really don't know what they're saying, then you want to say, could you repeat the question, please? Next time, the next thing I want you to think about is take your time in answering the question. Now this doesn't mean 20 minutes to answer, what is your name, but if it's a question that you need to consider what they're really saying and what they're really asking. Now, don't volunteer any information. It is their job, the other side's job, to elicit the information, to get the information from you. It's not, you don't have to go telling them, they ask you, what color is your car? You say red. You don't say, well, it's a BMW and it's got, 4 doors and everything else like that. You just say the color. The question was, what color is your car? So pay attention to what they're asking, and that's why it's important to take your time, not volunteering information. I want you to speak slowly and clearly because I want to make sure that I understand your question, the court reporter gets it down, and the other side gets it down so that it's correctly on the transcript. I want you to be aware of questions involving distances or times, things of that nature that require an accurate answer. Unless you know specifically it was 7.3 miles from your house to your daughter's house, then don't say that. Just say, I don't know exactly. It took me 5 minutes, about 5 minutes, okay? So it's about accuracy. I don't want you to get caught up in times of these. Now, you're going to want to defend yourself in the deposition because it feels like you're being attacked by some of the questions. Don't do that, okay? This is not the place for that. I get to what is called rehabilitate you once you have finished the deposition. If there's any questions I feel need to be brought out further, or if there's questions that need clarity, then I can ask you that at the time. I usually don't because I have you and I know what I get to ask at trial, but if I need to, I will do that. So don't defend yourself, okay? Don't get upset. Don't start yelling or be disrespectful to the other side. You just want to sit and calmly answer the questions, yes, no, and give the appropriate answer. You are to give information which you have available. You don't want to come and say, Well, I don't know, but I'll go ask so-and-so and so-and-so. Well, you've just opened the door now for them to go get so-and-so's deposition and everything else. If you don't know the answer, you say, I don't know. Don't volunteer to go get it from someplace else. This is not a place for joking, okay? It is a very serious legal endeavor, and it is a place that a joke can be taken the wrong way, and if it can be, it will be. So be careful about, even when we're on break, what's going on and what's said. Remember though, I'm there with you the whole time, so it's going to be okay. Don't volunteer any facts. Again, I can't tell you how many clients feel that they need to justify, or, well, let me tell you about this. This is why I did this. Okay, that's what I'm talking about, justifying your facts. Basically, though, the questions will be fairly straightforward. They will be questions such as your date, your name, your age, date of employment, where you work. You'll be asked questions such as your pay scale, how long you've been employed, who your supervisor is. If there are children involved, in this case there are children involved, so they're going to ask you questions like, who's your daycare? How long have you had that daycare? Have you ever had any problems with the daycare? They may ask you questions like, how do you discipline your children? And now I understand you have a new boyfriend in your life, and so they may ask things like, do you let your boyfriend discipline the children? And so your boyfriend should not, by the way, be disciplining the children, okay? That should be something that you do. Now, to keep, if you're living in the same house together, you're not, so, but if you were, then you would have to, work out some boundaries. We talk about those things before deposition, okay? So don't get into deposition and tell them something you've never told me. Does this make sense? Are you feeling a little bit better about it?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Well, remember, I'm going to be there with you. You know the case. They don't know the case. You have control because you have, there's an old saying that says, knowledge is power. So you have the knowledge in this case, so that gives you the power in this deposition because they're asking you the questions. You have the answers.